Right, Shalom, giving all praises to Yahweh, Ba'Hashem Yahushai, double honors to the apostles of GreatMillStone that rule impeccably well, and Shalom to the Archeum out there that's pushing his truth and sincerity across the four winds, man. Right, I just want to get into a video, as we all know, the Lord has been, Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai has been opening up, man. And he's been letting his judgment be known upon the face of the earth, man. But one thing to remember is that this is just the beginning of the woes, man. This is just the beginning of the destruction and the beginning of the wrath of Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai. We can assure you that, there's going to be a lot more to come, man. Because what's happening is, we're in a phase of a transition of rulership upon the face of the earth, where the so-called white men, you Edomites, are going to be taken down, man, right? And you're going to be replaced in rulership with the Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, who are the true children of Israel, according to the Bible, right? So, this is why these things are happening, man, because it's all judgment that's being played out. And, not to forget to mention that it's also judgment for 2/3 of our people, 2/3 of you Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans that are not going to make it, man, on this side, right? Because, even though all this destruction is happening in Esau's kingdoms, a lot of the people that are getting affected in these disasters is you Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, man. And we're going to, go to the reason why that's happening also in the scriptures. Right, but first of all, I just want, quickly look through these videos and these images, man, because the wrath of the Lord, man, is not a joke. The wrath of the Lord is not a joke, man, and when the Lord opens up, he opens up perfectly, right? You see this destruction that's happening, 140 miles per hour winds, all kind of devastation is being caused around the earth. People's pride at this stage, you can't have pride at this stage, man, right? When your house has been blown down, when you've been flooded out, when you can't, do the basic necessities that, a person does on a daily basis, especially you so-called black women, man, with your hair weave, women on their period, when those basic necessities get taken away, like food and water, all of these basic things that you take for granted in your everyday life, right? That pride is going to be brought down low, man. The Lord has a beautiful way of humbling people, man, right? All this devastation that's happening, man, it's very hard to be proud in situations like this, man. But, the Lord is going to make sure that more of this happens, man, because this is not enough, man. The Lord is going to keep making this happen, whether it was through, the harp system, how they they modify the weather. Esau's got that technology, but what you got to remember is that it's Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai that controls the hearts of men anyway, right? So anything you see happening, whether it's Esau, making these things happen, you got to remember who's controlling Esau, man, and all men, full stop. It's Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai, man, right? So the Lord, like it says in the scriptures, he's gonna set Satan up against Satan. Right, so how should their kingdom stand, man? Right, the Lord is going to make these devils open up on themselves and destroy themselves with the nuclear weapons that he's given them the spirit to create. Right, so these are the things we got to bear in mind, man. Right, the Lord is a beautiful power, man, and the Lord is a power that's not to be messed with, man. As you can see from these images and from all the clips that people have been filming, worldwide, man. Some of these things that have been happening it's you can't even really fathom it, man, unless you're actually going through it. And nothing really happens to the UK over here in the UK, man. So people in the UK, they ain't really had nothing this serious happen, man. But I pray, to Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai that something like this actually happens, man, because there's a lot of proud Edomites and 2/3 of our people, wicked Jakes over here in the UK as well, man. There's a lot of wicked Negroes here that are gonna, get judgment too, man. At least they repent. right? Look at these images, man. Like, it's non-stop devastation, man. Right? And it's going to get 10 times worse. And we can see over here in the Caribbean as well, you know, people got water up to their chest, man. You know, pure JCap in here, man. In Cuba, you know, a lot of places have been hit, man. The Lord is handing out a lot of judgment. Antigua and Barbuda, you know. A lot of places are getting taken out, man. You know. Look at this, man. Look at this devastation right here, man. That's why, you know, the prophets of old, you know, they said, you know, woe is me in that day, man. Who's going to deliver me from this judgment right here, man? Because when they saw these visions, these visions were terrible in their imaginations, man. When the Lord gave them visions, it was a terrible thing to see. They've never seen nothing like this before, right? But now we have it where the Lord is actually, you know, making us see these things, you know, firsthand, and seeing the judgment going forth, man, right? So this is really a time to watch these prophecies, you know, make sure that we're up in tune with the things that are happening, man, and matching it up with the scriptures, right? So this is 2nd Ezra chapter 9 and verse 1. It said, he answered me and then said, measure though the time diligently in itself. So we got to measure the times, man. We got to actually, you know, use these scriptures as a measuring stick for the current climate that we're currently in, for the current events that are happening. You know, is this mentioned in the scriptures? Right? Are these events mentioned in the scriptures? What's going to happen after this event? You know, that's how we're supposed to use these scriptures, man. Right? In itself, and when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told you before, then shalt thou understand that in this very same time, wherein the highest, right, will begin to visit the world which he made, man. So now it says here, therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world. Now, we're seeing these earthquakes. We're seeing the tornadoes happening, man. There was an earthquake in Mexico. I think it was at 8.4, man. Right? There was an 8.4 on a Richter scale earthquake in Mexico, man. That's a devastating earthquake. And anyone will tell you, you know, if you've been in an earthquake, even a 5.0 earthquake is quite, you know, terrifying, man. So imagine an 8.4 and beyond. Right? And it says, therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, which has been happening for the last, you know, decades or so, those uproars, they've been happening, man. Right? Then shalt thou understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. So all of these things that you see happening now, they were all prophesied from the beginning to come to pass, man. Right? The Lord has set this up from the very beginning. Right? For like as all that is made in the world have a beginning and have an end. And this is going to be the end of the so-called white man's kingdom, man. Right? Of Esau's kingdom, of you Edomites' kingdom, man. This is the end of that kingdom, man. That kingdom is coming to an end. And the Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you Israelites are coming into play, man. You know, the elect of you Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Right? Through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Because it's prophecy. Now, even when we go to Luke chapter 21 and verse 25, it goes more into that, man. And it says, and there shall be signs in the sun. And what did we have the other day? We had that solar eclipse, right? Back in July. I think it was July the 22nd, if I'm not mistaken. Right? And soon after that, alright, what happened, man? You had the tornadoes develop, you had the earthquakes come. That's no coincidence, man. Right? Because those things that, you know, the sun and the moon, they're put there for signs. Right? To let you know that something is coming. And in the moon and in the stars and upon the earth, and a lot of shooting stars have been seen around the world as well. You know, we see the chariots as well. You know, the chariots coming to the camp. It seems like they're coming every week now, man. And it tells you in the scriptures that that's a curse upon the earth. Right? So all these things are happening all at the same time. So the Lord is really opening up, man. It's really making things move very quickly. And it's a very eerie time right now, man. and upon the earth distress of nations. And we're seeing that with perplexity, the sea and the waves roaring. We're seeing the sea and the waves roaring, man. All of these things are happening. Men's hearts failing them for fear. So people are going to be getting heart attacks for the sheer fear of the coming dreadful day that's coming upon us, man. Right? And for looking after those things which are coming on the earth, for the powers of heaven shall be shaken, man. Right? And then shall they see the Son of Man coming in a cloud with power and great glory, man. So indeed, in this time we're in right now, man, not too far away, you know, Yahushua, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, is going to be cracking them clouds real soon, man. Right? You're going to see, you know, you're going to see a so-called black man crack those clouds, you know, with that glory, with that power, with thousands and thousands of angels, you know, all of that power. And then people are going to be astonished, man. People's hearts are going to be failing them for fear, man, when they see Yahweh Shem Yahushua return on the earth. Right? That's going to be a day to behold, man. I just want to go into Matthew 24 quickly, man. You know, we read these scriptures all the time, man. You know, the basic scriptures. But it's the basic scriptures, you know, which are the foundation, man, of understanding all things. So it's a beautiful thing. So it says, and Yahushua went out and departed from the temple, and his disciples came to him for to show him the buildings of the temple. And Yahushua said unto them, see ye not that all these things, verily I say unto you, there shall not be one left here, one stone upon another, that shall not be thrown down, man. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privily, saying, tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and the end of the world? So that's the spirit that we're meant to be in, man. Right? The apostles were asking Yahushua, when is the end of the world? And when are these things going to take place? Right? But now we know we're in that time when these things are taking place, man. Right? We're in that time now when we know, right, that the things spoken of in the book of Luke, the things spoken of in 2nd Esdras, the 9th chapter, these things are coming to play, man. You know, because we're seeing the signs, we're seeing the earthquakes, we're seeing the tornadoes, we're seeing the uprising of the people, we're seeing all of these things now. So now we know the climate that we're in. And what I wanted to go back to now is because, you know, 2/3 of our people, you Negroes, Hispanics, and Native American, that judgment is going to start on you, man. As you can see in this image right here. You know? Because a lot of Jake is getting hit by this devastation. And the Jake is going to continue to be hit by this devastation, man. So this is 1 Peter chapter 4 and verse 17. For the time is come that judgment must begin with the house of God. Now, who is the house of God? The house of God is you Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, man. Right? And if it first begin at us, what shall be the end of them that obey not the gospel of Yahweh Shem Yahushua? Because you guys don't want to adhere to the prophets, the mouthpiece of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. They're on the highways and the byways every single week, on the internet 24/7, 365, pushing out this word of Yahweh Shem Yahushua to seal the elect. But 2/3 of you don't want to hear this. Don't want to hear this song. Don't want to hear this beautiful song, man. Therefore, you're not going to be saved on this side. And it's as simple as that, man. Right? So that's why you're going to see a lot of devastation, like how you're seeing in these images, you know, take part and be executed on our people, man. You know, especially with Jacob's trouble, Lord willing, that's going to be really soon as well, man. You know, because all of these things right here, look what they're doing in Cuba, man. You know, they're flooded out, man. And imagine when martial law comes, man. People are going to be, they're going to be so uncomfortable, man. They're not used to being uncomfortable, but when that uncomfortable climate hits, man, that's when you Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans are going to understand that, you know, you had the prophets telling you that these things were going to happen, and that's when you're going to be seeking for the prophets. But by that time, it's going to be the famine of the word, right? And it's going to be too late, you know? So with that, I hope this lesson was edifying, you know, and I'd like to say, you know, all praises to Yahweh Shem Yahushua, double honors to the apostles of GreatMillStone, and shalom to the Akim out there that's pushing his truth in sincerity across the four winds. Shalom.